What's going on, Guitar Heroes? My name is Nathan Whitney. I had this old volume pedal lying around that was pretty much gutted, so I gutted the rest myself, and I thought I need another expression pedal for my Helix. So I thought I'd go and see what I needed, followed some threads on the internet, had a little bit of frustration, and finally ended up with an expression pedal. Why don't you follow me on my journey of electronic craziness? It's not that crazy. I'm just not good at it. I started off by installing this rubber stopper that you can get from any dollar store. This is where the switch contacts to turn it on and off. I also got some help from my kid. She likes playing with all the electronic stuff in the office here, and she quite honestly probably knows more about electronics than me. I didn't get any footage of the package arriving from Amazon with the pot, but it arrived and I started soldering on some wires. I've had this Weller soldering iron for probably 10 years, and I've mainly built some instrument and microphone cables with it. Never actually done anything this precise. So if you see any really bad soldering technique, let me know in the comments. I forgot to mention I had already received the plugs with the pot, so I had already pre-installed those into the enclosure. Alright, so I got the pot, and actually the Footswitch has showed up, but I'm not worrying about this right now. What I'm worrying about is doing a little bit of a dry run on this connection. So on this patch, you can see here, this is just the standard line 6 expression pedal. I like the throw on these. They feel really good to me. They're just a standard TS connector, tip sleeve. Works great. So on this patch, you can see I'm going from, there's 100, there's 0, there's 100, there's 0. So I thought, before I solder anything in, I just hooked it up so that the, you'll see on the pot here, there's 3 lugs. Looking at it this way, the outside, the middle and the right, or the middle and the left, depending on which way you're looking at it, have to be bridged unless you're using a TRS cable, but I'm not, so this is the way they do it. The green wire is going to the tip. Tip. Green wire is going to the tip. I'm not very good at this electronic stuff. Yellow wire is going to sleeve. If I 0, 100, 0, 100. That works great. Now I just have to install it and solder and make sure that I've got the throw on the right way. Installing the pot into the enclosure was probably the trickiest part, making sure that I didn't turn the pot up or down by accident so that it all connects correctly. It works! Not soldered in, just attached to this momentary switch, and I've assigned a wah pedal to the switch. On, off, on, off. It's hard to tell. On. Oh, sorry. Off. Oh, lost connection. So after figuring out my loose connection, I decided to actually solder in the momentary switch. Figuring out the height to set the switch at so that it'll connect with the rubber stopper was actually one of the more difficult things to do, especially with this type of momentary switch, which is a soft switch. More on that to come. Alright, here's a quick update. Maybe it's halfway through the video. The 10K pot, the Dunlop pot, works great. If the sweep is, it reads 0, it reads 100. It's great. The momentary switch, I'm not a big fan of it. I've ordered a latching switch and I'm going to try to follow some pictures that I saw on the internet. Anyways, let me just demonstrate. I'm just going to be sweeping this back and forth. Okay, so in this patch, you can see the position and it's going up and down. That's great. Works great. 0, 100. If I put in a volume pedal instead of the wah, I gotta switch this over to pedal 2, but now it should go up and down. Yep, that's great. So the pot works great. I'm really happy with that. The switch is the only issue. So I have ordered, like I mentioned, a latching switch as opposed to a momentary switch. I'm gonna try a latching switch tomorrow. If I don't like the feel on how it's set up, or if I don't know how to set it up, once I get the parts, I will just use it as purely as an expression pedal. As of right now, pot, good, switch, eh. All right, just got the switches, and that's kind of the fun part of doing this sort of project, is getting to learn about stuff. Here I am soldering a latching switch that won't work. You want momentary on. Okay, it's Saturday night, a week later, just happened to find a momentary on switch on Amazon that has the click. The click. And guess what? It works. So it turns out that the Helix is looking for a momentary on switch. What I originally purchased worked, the momentary switch, but it was a soft switch, and I didn't like the way it was connecting with that rubber stopper. It would turn on and off really quickly by itself, so I didn't like that. What I should have been using the whole time was a regular momentary on switch. So once again, this is the expression control, and that's the switch. Let's bring in just a wah pedal. Just the standard wah pedal. So if you go into the bypass control, we see that the UK wah 846 bypass parameter is the toe switch. So that's connected here. So let's see, I go back to edit, if it will turn on when I click on the switch. There it goes. And hopefully you heard that nice click. I like that. So I can still go back and forth for one between 0 and 100 and not engage the switch, but I put a little bit of pressure down. It acts like a regular wah pedal, and that's what I want. And obviously you can see there that the position is controlled by the expression pedal, back and forth, back. Let me just demonstrate with a different effect and the thing I really like. So say I wanted to use, I've been really getting into using like the ubiquitous vibe. And what I will do is I will go into the bypass control assign, and I will set the bypass to the expression toe. Actually, it already is there. So we can see it turning on and off. On, off. The other cool thing I like doing is adding, let's say the rate. I want to control it by expression pedal 1. I'm going to set the min rate to, let's say 1, and the max rate to 9. So if I want to do some like bluesy soloing, which I can't do and I'm not going to do right now, and I want to add some SRV vibes to it, I'll click it on, bring it back, and it's down to 0. I'm going to treble it up to 9, down to 0 or 1.1 there, wherever I set it, and I can turn it off, and it's all controlled by this expression pedal with a nice click. This was my first foray into building some electronic style stuff for my guitar setup. I'm really excited how it all turned out. I'm glad I figured out which is the right switch to get that click. It's a momentary on regular switch, not a soft switch. I will leave links in the description below for any of the parts that I use that you might find useful. And I hope this inspires you to do your own electronics projects and fix things and use things that you have lying around that you could throw into your rig. My name again is Nathan Whitney. Thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you on the internet.